Hello everyone. I didn't record this on Sunday night like I usually do, so I wasn't feeling 100% on Sunday. So it's now Monday afternoon at 2 o'clock, 6 minutes past 2 to be exact. So I'm recording it now, so it'll still be up tonight. I'm doing it during the day. If you hear anything that's not me talking, that's the husband downstairs watching TV. Because if he was upstairs while I was recording, you'd be able to hear him laugh. So what I'll probably do is I'll record tonight's video now and then some of the rest of the videos tonight while he's not here. Although next week I'll have to record while he is here, and then the week after that I'll have to record while my mum's here. So yeah, I've got my husband's off next week and then the week after my mum's here, so it's like right. Today's Murder Case Monday. And today's case is the case of, just one sec, that's a bit better, is the case of Kendrick Johnson. Now, a lot of these cases have already been looked at by other people, and I will link to a few videos above if I can remember, because I know John Lordan's done one, I think. Rob Dyke's done one, or it's incorporated into one of his. I'm not sure if Kendall's done one yet or no, but if they have, I'll link them up above. Like I say, I know John has. I know John's done quite a few because where he lives is not far from where this happened, so he's gone to quite a few of the court dates and stuff. So I will leave his videos because they go a lot more in depth than me. I'm going through basics here, and I do so to give my opinion. For those that aren't aware, and this is your first Murder Case Mondays video, hi, my name is Simone. I have a degree in forensic science and criminology, so I am sort of qualified to look at cases, and specifically criminal cases, in this way because I have the training to do so. Main training came from one of my lecturers who was also my academic advisor, who was a former police officer, and he taught us how to look at cases objectively and how to pick them apart and things, and he was really good at doing that, and you know, he'd give us actual examples and things. So I went to university at Preston, but the lecturer is now based in where I live now, I live in York, and he's based in Leeds, which is not that far away. So, although we have two universities here, but I don't know if either of them do forensic degrees. But right, Kendrick Johnson, he was a 17-year-old boy who was going to a very, very affluent school. From all accounts, he was academic. He was bullied from accounts as well. He was bullied and he'd received threats and such, which is horrid, obviously. But one day he didn't return home from school. He missed a couple of classes, and then the following day, which I think was the 11th of January, he was found rolled up in a floor mat. His face was swollen due to the possibilities of the reason why the swelling is contested, but I'll get to that in due time. I will give a warning before I start talking about any gross things, and when I do, I'll put a time code underneath for you to skip to, so that you don't listen to the gross things, because there is an element in this that I sort of have to explain a little bit. So he was found rolled up in a wrestling mat in the gymnasium of Lord's High School I don't know how to pronounce these things. Valdosta in the US state of Georgia. The preliminary investigation and autopsy concluded that his death was an accident, that he'd gone into the mat to get his trainers and somehow got himself trapped, but his trainers were towards his feet when he'd gone head first. But also there's questions because the holes of the mat for him to squeeze through was 14 inches, yet his shoulder span was 17 inches. It's like 3 inches difference. So, family hired a private pathologist who concluded a second autopsy, who concluded that Johnson had died from blunt face trauma, the swelling. On the 10th of October 2013, the US State's Attorney in the Middle District of Georgia announced that his office would open a formal review into the Johnson death. Victims' family are currently being sued for $850,000 in attorney fees and $1 million in defamation damaged by the parents of the 2 children who were suspects in the death. Now, it's a weird case because the parents of the 2 suspects, which are brothers, if I remember rightly, are FBI agents, or they're involved in the FBI. So, there's a lot of, are they hiding the case, are they hiding evidence, are they, I'll get to that. Family is suing the school for wrongful death, citing that Johnson had been bullied and attacked by white students, and they had done nothing to stop it. By the way, he was an African American, which I think is horrible. I think that is absolutely horrible. I was bullied at school, but I was never threatened. But then again, we don't have, well, I'm white anyway, but we don't have that, I wouldn't say we don't have any, but we don't have that much of a racial friction with people of African descent in this country. Right. Let's talk about the body. This is going to be the gross bit. When the body was found, the head was severely swollen. I won't put pictures in here because that will get this video flagged straight away for demonetisation. But what I will do is I will pop an article down below which actually has the graphic of his face in it, but I'm going to wing it, it's not nice. Now, there's 2 school of thoughts as to what's caused the swelling. That he was beaten, which is one school of thought, and there was blood near the mat. And the other school of thought is that the blood drained to his head, causing it to swell. More specifically, the tissue surrounding his head to swell because of all the blood. Now, both are possibilities, because the human body does weird things, especially when the heart is no longer pumping. So, the independent autopsy found, among other things, that Johnson's body was stuffed with newspapers. The funeral home that processed the body following the GBI's autopsy stated that they had never received Johnson's organs from the coroner. Johnson's internal organs were said to have been destroyed by a natural process and discarded by prosecutor before the body was sent to the funeral director. So, now, the body's being destroyed by a natural process. Decomp, now I can't say for certain because I don't know the circumstances and the temperatures and everything inside the school during the night of which he was missing, because he went missing in the afternoon. He was last seen just after lunch, and then he was found at 10:50 the following day. So it's like almost a 24-hour period. Now, like I say, I don't know, and this was in January, so it would have been pretty cold. So, I can't see decomp destroying the organs that quickly. It usually takes a couple of days for your organs to start liquefying. Because what happens is when you die, the bacteria in your stomach and your guts starts eating at the flesh to feed itself, and that causes bloating, and it also causes what we call liquefaction, which is when essentially your entire insides just literally turns into liquid and gas. So, right. While it is normal for a body to be filled with paper, cotton wool, or newspaper, why were the organs discarded and not put back in the body cavity, which is normal process? Was his face swollen due to being upside down? Like I say, that is a possibility, but I can't say for certain. Because I've never seen the x-rays. It's a bit hard, because without x-rays, it's only speculation, and like I said, the human body does weird things, especially when the heart's no longer pumping. So, right, welcome back everybody else. Just to summarise, a few hinky things went wrong with the body. CCTV was released from the school, but there seems to be edits, more specifically the release that people have seen, namely the victim's family, the newspapers, social media, the internet. There's edits, there's like little bits missing, and it sort of raises suspicion, especially with the victim's family, which is understandable, obviously. Now, in my mind, obviously not being an expert but having some knowledge in the situation, I think that it wasn't an accident. This happened because somebody wanted it to happen. If he went into the mat to receive his trainers, then why was his trainers by his feet if he went head first into the mat? And why was the blood nearby? There's a lot of questions, but unfortunately, as was with the John Benet Ramsey case, we'll probably never know, because the case has been messed up from the beginning, meaning that it was treated as an accident from the get-go. So the type of evidence collection that gets done in a murder case didn't happen. The type of interrogations and questionings that get done when you're doing a murder case didn't get done. And all sorts of stupid things like that would normally get done in a murder case, because it was automatically assumed to be an accident. So unfortunately, I don't think it's ever going to be solved unless somebody actually admits wrongdoing, and I don't think that's going to happen for a good long while yet. This is a relatively recent case, and it is a relatively sickening case, and I'm not saying that our criminal cases in this country are always above board, because they're not. And that opens up a whole new story, which I'm not going to go into. I might do one day, but not at the moment. But there are cases in pretty much every country where the case is buggered up right from the beginning, and this is one of them. The school obviously interfered. The influence of the two suspects' parents obviously interfered. Now, the two suspects, one wasn't on site and one was at the other side of the school when the incident supposedly happened. Those are the only suspects that they have, but there is possibility that somebody else could have done it that was in the same school. The school is probably going to suffer for this in one way or another. I know the family are outraged and horrified, and I really feel for them. And this case has been screwed since the beginning. If I had the actual files in front of me, I could probably write a file this thick on everything that they've done wrong. Now, that's purely because the processes for murders, suicides, accidents, and is different for each one. With suicide, it's usually collect the body, take it to the coroner, collect any meds, check for a suicide note, and that's pretty much it. With a homicide, everything is scrutinised, or everything's supposed to be scrutinised. With an accident, it's like, oh, it's an accident, let's just write it off. Let's not get any evidence, which isn't right. So, but, and with some of the rules being different with the UK and the US with regards to the organs, that again obviously differs, because I know in this country the organs have to remain with the body, unless the police have expressly said that they're going to keep some, which wasn't done in this case. So it's one of those cases that's probably going to perplex us for a good long while, and without somebody coming forward that knows a lot more than they're letting on, we're probably never going to know, which is heart-wrenching for the family. It has to be heart-wrenching for the family, which I really, really, really feel bad for them. The pain that they must be going through is tremendous and horrible, and they've lost their child who had so much dream, so much ambition to be going to a high level school, that this is going to be crushing for them. It has to be. I couldn't even dream of having a child and having that child taken off me. That would tear me apart. So, tears me apart that I can't have kids. So, if I had a kid and someone took it off me, I'd be even more miffed. So you can imagine. So, right. Obviously, can't offer anything new because I don't have the files. What I can say is that the federal review has come back with no charges for anybody, which I find startling. There is some form of incompetence in this case in multiple areas, and it's definitely upsetting. Definitely upsetting. So, there you go. So, if you do know anybody that knows anything about this case, please give the relevant authorities a call, because they need to know what other evidence is out there that they're not already aware of. So with that being said, that's it for this Murder Case Monday. Tomorrow is I'm going to do an interesting video. It's a call-out video, but it's not on YouTube for a change. Then on Wednesday, instead of having Writers Wednesday, I'm going to have a Where Are They Wednesday, which is going to be on a case that's relatively close to me, which is the disappearance of a lady from here in York that happened the year before I moved over. So, and then on Thursday, I have Social Media Stars Aren't Idols. So, some interesting videos. I haven't decided what's happening Friday, Saturday, Sunday yet. We shall see. I have noticed that the video I made the other day about asking Joy to get her guys to back off Kimmy has been flagged. So I've asked them to review it, so we'll wait and see what happens. Obviously there's nothing threatening in it, so we'll just have to wait to see what YouTube says. But I think it's relatively recent that it's been flagged, so we'll just have to wait and see. But never mind. So, have fun, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.